Welcome back to Newsmaker Live. Very interesting discussion on the decriminalization of marijuana. We have a call on the line. Thanks for holding. Please go ahead.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night. Please go ahead.
Yes, gentlemen, good night.
Good night, sir.
I would like to agree with the last caller in that smoking of any kind, whether it's marijuana, cigarettes, cigars, is unhealthy, bad for the body.
Okay. Do you have your volume up? Please turn it down if you do, caller.
It's done.
Okay.
But I believe that marijuana is a natural substance. It's a herb. It grows naturally. You throw the seeds around and it just grows like any other herb. And I believe that it has medicinal properties, and persons should be allowed to use it without having to face any kind of criminal consequences.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sir. And to the people out there, one of the most recent studies done when talking about lung cancers and stuff, and you could go to your search engines and stuff like this. If we were logged in and we had Wi-Fi here, there's the most extensive research on the effects of marijuana smoking on lungs is done by a doctor called Dr. Donald Taskin, Taskin. This is the largest survey and study done, medical survey, on the effect of marijuana smoke on the lungs. Let me repeat this doctor's name so you could punch it in. It's Dr. Donald Taskin. And this is recent research done on the effect of marijuana smoke on the lungs. And so it's a scientific research. So if anybody is concerned and wants to read more, I am not a doctor. This is a scientific research. Dr. Donald Taskin. Please punch in and take a read on that.
Okay. We have a call on the line. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead.
Yeah, blessed love. Let's hear from the smokers themselves, because St. Lucians are partial people and very lenient people. They're laid back. Then we have to stand for our rights. It's like if we start smoke tomato leaves, it's like the government going to put it illegal. You see what I'm saying? Marijuana is a natural herb, and one man's meat is the next man's poison. We don't expect the whole nation to smoke marijuana, the minors to smoke marijuana. But we expect that we are transparent. Right. You see me? It's like the police never sometimes don't see you, but they find your possession. You have a spliff in your pocket, and the man come and search your pocket and say, hey, you get something, and they brutalize, lock you up in jail. So this is ridiculous, St. Lucians have to now stand up and say, we're doing like the Americans, and we say marijuana is to be used in any form that you feel like. If you feel like smoke it, you smoke it. Because abuse of anything is a sin. And me see man abuse even the English language, like some honorable ministers say, and on the TV people don't understand what they're saying. So at the end of the day, it's one to use their discretion in what amount they use or what they can withstand. If they want to eat the marijuana, if it's smoke or if it's drink. You see what I'm saying? So blessed love and good program. Give thanks to all them who fight for the rights of black people.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, I was about saying, I mean, I like the fact that he quoted Dr. Taskin. If you look at the Journal of Psychiatric Research, that looked at the effect of marijuana, the dependency syndrome on young people. Within the last 10 years, they realized that young people, persons within the age of 14 and 25, those young people, they develop significant dependence on the drug because it was used as a means of dealing with the issues, whatever those issues were in their life. As much as there is an argument saying that the hemp may have less than the actual marijuana itself, or may have big.
Yeah, well, we can't confuse the hemp. If
Right.
we're dealing with marijuana, we deal with marijuana because actually, doctor, the marijuana is the flower of the cannabis plant.
Right.
It's so hemp has nothing to do with the flower.
No, I was making the point that persons, you would use that so they can say, well, that this one can be used, the marijuana is the one that should not be used. I want to look at the substance of that comes from the plant itself, so that we can understand it can be because of its potency. A lot of a person may take one spliff, and that spliff alone can trigger some level of psychosis. All right, and we have to be sure that we are not saying whether that if you use marijuana for a prolonged period, you can be scotch-free. Just as individuals may say, "I've used alcohol for all of my life, and I'm still alive." I'm saying there are effects on the body, and persons do not know what the body is on the inside until they go for an examination and they realize, well, boy, this thing has been taking a toll on me. Husbands who stay away from their wives, who stay away from their children, don't know how to deal with the issues, who, if there's a problem in the family, pull a bottle of alcohol or pull in a spliff, let me go outside and take a joint. They are depriving themselves of their personal development to deal with situations at home and to deal with their children. Persons who are not present to deal with their situations at home simply because they want to withdraw. The social the negative impact of marijuana on the family, we cannot minimize it at all. Neither should we promote the use of alcohol as a way to deal with it. I think that the ills are there, and what we need to do is to not compound it. We don't need to add to it. As a matter of fact,
but are they criminals? This is, you see, because the great part of it is that my issue with it is if we are, because everything that you said is dealing with medical issues. We're not talking about criminal issues. Well, so why deal with it in a criminal manner? Imagine that a young man has problems at home. He gets hooked on marijuana and is using marijuana to deal with his problems, right? And he gets held by the police. You're going to put him in jail? Well, his problem is a medical problem, doc, and he's not going to get any better if you put him in jail.
I agree with the. Well, I can deal with the rehabilitation issue. That's another issue altogether. How do we rehabilitate persons who have who suffer with a dependent syndrome, or who have an addiction to the substance? I can understand that issue. We need to deal with it in another way. We are saying because it has been termed illegal. It has been termed illegal. We need to begin to teach our young people adherence to law and authority. We need to let them know that if you are going to advocate the use of the substance, you need to create an environment where that can be done.
Well, let me jump in there. Let me jump in there. I mean, when you talk about adherence to law and authority, from a Christian standpoint, there are certain things that we know that will happen, that, bringing that argument in play would affect the way that we handle those situations. Because not all laws are just.
Very well.
And laws are based on the people who are drafting or creating the laws. And if there is a certain bias,
not necessarily, but go ahead. Yeah.
If there is a certain bias that these people carry, for all intents and purposes, it will be reflected in the law. And I don't think, I strongly believe that the drug laws have a certain level of bias in it as far as, what drugs are legal and what drugs are not. And then we bring that alcohol argument in place again, because a lot of people who draft or create the laws, they use alcohol. Some of them abuse alcohol. But then because of their position and their preference for a certain drug, then it continues to be legal, notwithstanding the negative social and other effects that it has.
I don't want to say that biasness contributes to the illegality of marijuana or that substance. I understand persons would have the political reasons perhaps to support or not support. I do understand, however, that consideration has been given to the economic benefits of marijuana. Everyone knows that if this thing is sold, I mean, a lot of money can be made out of it. A lot of money can, just as a lot of money has been made out of selling alcohol, even to minors, which is illegal, right? We know that. What we're seeking to stop is the exacerbation of a problem that is already taking a toll on our young people, on our families.
Yeah, 50 seconds.
And even impacting negatively on the economic strength of this country.
Wonderful. Just wrap up quickly because we're out of time. We can discuss this all night.
Definitely.
You know, it's a very good discussion.
Well, what I would say is that I believe there's education. The doc has some relevant points. My point is basically that I don't think it should be treated as a criminal issue if indeed it's a health issue that you're concerned about. And I think having a law that incarcerates...
Health, psychological.
Right.
Social.
You shouldn't be locking up people for that. Deal with it in a health and a psychological way. Go to No Jail for Ganja on our Facebook site and go to luciangreens.org to read the Ganja document, and these two sites would enlighten you and educate you, and you'd be linked to other sites and educate yourselves.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Franklin Bray, clinical psychotherapist and also the chairman of the cannabis movement. Andre De Keras is also the leader of the Green Party, for being part of this discussion. This is the kind of discussion that I like, when we can thrash out the issues, looking at both sides of an argument. Just a program note, tomorrow on DFL, whether you stay in St. Lucia or travel for Christmas, Delia and her guests discuss Christmas ideas to give to friends at home and also abroad. There'll also be lots and lots of gifts for DFL viewers. From the Ayanola Executive Lounge at Euronora to La Place Carénage and souvenir shops, join DFL for an alternative look at Christmas gifts and preparations. Her guests, Marva Greenwich, marketing specialist at Slasper, and Susanna Isaac, the manager of La Place Carénage. That's The Law Factor, live only here, DBS, tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Until the next time, next week, same time, I'm Clinton Reynolds. Do have a wonderful evening.